on allies. There we go. We've arrived. They have a -1 because this is in a forest. And we just have superior troops because of our technology. They do have troops on the way, but Vilnius has been saved and Hagen Mayer has become a glory seeker. Let's cross the river and see what we can do to entrap these guys. Are you going to start sieging something again? Because we right now should be invisible. Yes, they're going to go for Polokas. We'll go for Polokas as well. In fact, no. We'll stay here and wait for them to lose some attrition. Then we'll go for Polokas. And there it is. War is over. So, Wallachia will cede Suceava and Iasi to Poland. Bohemia will cede Vladislav and Poznan. They didn't take Krakow. To Poland. Wallachia will pay 21 ducats to Poland and allies, of which I get 12. That's actually a remarkably light peace deal by Poland. 4 provinces. Poland owes me a lot of favours. Yeah, you do. Alright, let's head home. And let's get rid of the Grand Company, so I'm not paying you anymore. Which should allow me to recover some of my finances. That was a really bad peace deal. They could have done so much more damage. Growth of the business of draperies. Our efforts to maximise trading profits in the area of Mecklenburg has borne fruit in the province of Wismar. Gain 2 production in Wismar. Sweet. Right. I was going to check something. I was considering a rivalry with Sweden. But Sweden is getting more and more converted, and as long as they become not Catholic, then they might actually join our side. Meanwhile, Brandenburg's actually converting away from Protestant. Which, to an extent, is good for us. If they refuse to take Protestant, then they can never become Prussia. And now that they're a rival, non-Prussia is a good thing. If you're the leader of a trade league, you get a CB against anyone who embargoes anyone in the trade league. Oh! Okay, that's probably what it was. And Sweden just took out Riga. Interesting. Denmark has no allies. At all. Mistakes were definitely made. Oh, Denmark. Denmark, Denmark, Denmark. Although before we start this, I think I would like to build a couple more transports. Say 3. I'm not going up against Brandenburg anytime soon. I have no real reason to. Ah, we can get maritime ideas. That's Diplo. Which will give me the sailor maintenance down, which means I can recover sailors more quickly. Yes, please. Definitely, please. It is an unfortunate fact that ships tend to be damaged during battle, and equally unfortunate that damage is rarely able to be repaired at sea. To alleviate this problem, we will create a system of sheltered ports along the coastline where our ships can patch themselves up. And then the next one's going to be Grand Navy, which I desperately want. Although we are still under the force limit currently, so we could get more. I'm going to say that the target is going to be Colding. Let's wait until these guys are home. There we go. Begin. Just because then we start building up the war score in our favour. Do we have a new unit model? We do. Renewing loans. Yeah, another reason for this war against Denmark is I fully intend to bleed them of money. More light ships. I'm not actually using light ships at the moment. I'm using galleys. Because I have my flagship, the Bjornvar, which has trade route maps. Which means that every ship in the same fleet as them produces trade power. Which at the moment... Actually, that's a good point. How much do caravels produce? 2.5. Which actually increased by 20%, so it's 2 point... It's basically 3. And then the war galleys are 1.2. plus their war galleys, and they can fight in inland seas. We'll get you eventually, Denmark. Damn it, how are you so fast? I have a maneuver 3, you have a maneuver 2. Are you really that quick? Yeah, apparently you are. Alright. Now I'll get you. No way. Seriously? Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Finn so I control the crossings. And then they can't escape anymore. Sorry, Death Martian. This is all part of the grand plan. Alright, now let's chase them. They can't escape anymore. There we are. We have more morale, we have more tactics. This is going to be the same as Bohemia. Stack wipe. Denmark knew what was coming. They were just like, yeah, we're done. We're done. We've had enough. Just out of interest, what were the missions against Denmark? Seize Jutland. Have 4 provinces out of... well, we already have 3 of them. In Jutland. And if we do that, then we get a subjugation... subjugation on... no, Norway doesn't exist. And then once we've subjugated Norway... oh no, sorry, that is the subjugation of Norway. Gotcha. And then to complete this, we need to take... Agershus, Bergenhus and Trondelag, which will give us permanent claim on North Atlantic Islands and a bunch of prestige, which I guess means the stuff going for America. Interesting. Alright, so we've taken Lolland. Now let's just yeah. Now watch as Sweden declares war on me while I'm off their coast. That's the wrong navy. Let's try that again, shall we? This time using transports. Yes. Oops. Guild's push for mercantilist reforms. Definitely going for the mercantilism. How are the factions looking? Actually, relatively split still. Marvellous. Ooh, 3 people now voting for Bohemia. A much weakened Bohemia. These guys are like, no, we've heard about Lubeck. We're not fighting them. We're leaving. Not happening. Is mercantilism any good for colonial power? I'd need to double check what exactly mercantilism does again. I just know that mercantilism generally good. Provincial trade power plus 68, embargo efficiency plus 17. It's that provincial trade power in particular which is good, especially if you have a lot of centers of trade. But I think it does provide limited desire for colonials or something. Yeah. So, yes, I would still say probably you just need to be more aware of the fact that your vassals, or your minions, will generally have more liberty desire than they otherwise would. Where exactly are you running to? Oh, Norway. I totally forgot you still own Norway. Oh, we caught them. Are you bankrupt again? I think they are. Yep, they definitely are. Because they're currently fighting my transports and losing. Oh dear, Denmark. What has happened to you? Truce with Teeth Martians ended. We can pass the Popery Act. Missionary strength up. Yeah, do it. And we can finally get admin. Yes! Smithsonian economics. Boom. By opposing mercantilism and restricting the state's influence in economic matters, we shall support a somewhat free market, and they will increase our overall production efficiency. And this also means that I can finally get my first policy, which is Republican tradition plus 0.2. Oh, and in fact, now that we're starting to re-elect, I do need to go back to this and change out icons for legalized divorces. And now we're producing 1.5 Republican tradition a year. Our re-elections are every 3 years, so we're producing 4.5 and using 8. So we're only actually losing, what, 2.5 every re-election. Is this removing Denmark from the game? Probably not. But I am going to have to think quite seriously about what exactly I want from them. I'm not interested in any of the Livonian holdings. They can keep those. I'm somewhat interested in some of the Norwegian stuff. I'm very interested in Gotland and Bornholm. Those two I definitely want to take off of them. Unfortunately, they don't have Gdansk anymore. And they don't have Riga. And then I need to think quite seriously. I mean, I'll probably take Jutland, because it's a very wealthy area with a massive potential for development. Alright, trade conflict against England. They're threatening our trades. This must be because they've embargoed one of the trade league. That's good to know that. And Dithmartians over here sieging down the Norwegian territories. Excellent supplies. Our naval production has been unusually good, giving us a boost in ship production. This is good news. So I think I am going to leave some of Denmark alive and we'll take Norway from them in the future. What's my AE like? It's basically 0. Oh no, it's 20 down there. But this is in the HRE. This is outside the HRE. And if I'm adding territory to the HRE, then the HRE is going to like that. Except for the moment, that's going to be more authority for Austria, which I definitely do not want to hand them. Now, do we have any others shifting religion? No, I think... Oh, England. England starting to convert. Denmark might. That would be an interesting change. If Denmark went Protestant, then suddenly they'd be on my side. Meanwhile, we can pay off some loans, and we probably should, seeing as we are really heavily in debt. Trade protection is against Carabas. Oh, Portugal. Well played. You took a lot of stuff over there. Whose are these? Holland! Hey! And Friesland. They're getting into a fairly early colonization game. Oh no, there's France. I was going to say, there's somebody noteworthy who's missing from all of this. Where are the French? They're actually in South America. So I guess the Treaty of Tortillas hasn't really done much to mitigate that. What would it cost to force convert them? A lot. Force conversion is always expensive. 306%, it's the same as vassalizing. This is one reason why force conversion is basically impossible, because it's so expensive. I forgot to land on Bornholm. You're right, I did. Let's leave you on Fane, just in case they come through Sweden. I don't imagine they will, but you never know. Heated debate. God damn it. Some members of Parliament are having some concerns regarding our increasingly bad reputation. Just paid those off. But we do still need to force convert somebody small. So that I could get the Age of Reformation. Convert province? No. Converted another nation. Is Dithmarschen Protestant? Yes. Hey, Siege of Gotland, done. Alright, so, Denmark. Let's talk. I want that, I want that, and I want that. That is exactly 5 nations that would be in a coalition, except for the fact I have a truce with Denmark. And Bremen. You know what? I can reduce Bremen. And then it would only be 4 nations. So, Bremen. How's it going? Oh, I can't invite you while we're at war. I can probably still invite you after the war. However, that will not reduce the AE. Take a Norwegian core. Nah. That would be even more AE. Which I'd rather do without. Then I'm going to take a bunch of cash. I'm going to force you to pay me even more cash. Okay, I'll take a bit less. Whoa, that's a lot less. There is definitely something really fiddly up with the finance thing right now. Wait, why is that now 400 instead of the... What was it, 800? Alright, how about I don't take the war reps and I take just a bunch of money instead? I think that's better. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, while it is still paused, Bremen! Get into my league. Okay, now you shouldn't join a coalition against me. Plus, Denmark will have a truce anyway, so they can't. And then I'm basically, just in case, going to send a guy to improve relations with you. Yeah, none of the big important nations have enough. Okay, good. So we are going to fulfill our Seize Jutland mission, which gives us a subjugation CB on Norway. Wait, does Norway still exist? No. And we're going to need to do a bunch of coring as well. I totally forgot to check for overextension. No matter. And did we not get a mission for Gotland? Oh, I need to core Gotland and it needs to have a trading post. Okay. Speaking of which, do we have any provinces which are outside of Lubeck? No, not yet. Soon. Soon we will. Alright, transports. Go grab Gotland. You guys can continue protecting trade in the Baltic. Oh, I control the North Sea now. Really? Oh, hell yeah. Even though I have nothing over there. Fantastic. And we're pulling even more money out of the Baltic now. Okay, good. And we could also start converting. I'm not going to convert anything until we've actually finished taking everything. Now, I'm also going to reduce my discipline right now. And I'm going to switch it out for missionary strength because we are going to need to do a fair amount of conversion once the cores are finished. And we're going to need to do a fair amount of coring too. And then we can pay off a bunch of loans. And then there were 8. Much better. Reducing the total amount of money you request is a known issue that's being worked on. Okay, good to know. Take trade power. The problem with taking trade power is it tends to be really expensive. Again, in war cost. Hire a missionary strength advisor. That's a good point. I should take a look at my advisors. None available. None available. None available. And right now, we could probably try to promote some of our advisors to make them more political or more monarch pointy. But I want to pay off the loans first before we do that. Now, one other thing I would really like to do is put a fort in Colding. But we are going to be busy with the coring for a while. Oh dear, Bremen's left. No, Bremen! Did I start improving relations with the wrong people? I did. I was doing it with Hamburg. Oh, Bremen's a historical friend. Did covert actions. I chose the... Sorry. Yeah, this is gonna... 4 out of the 5 coalition members are gonna join now. Thankfully, I have a long truce with Denmark. We can get maritime ideas. We're still 8 months ahead. I would say... Yes, let's do it. League finances are currently very much done on an ad hoc basis. Towns contribute either money or in kind towards League projects. This is simply not good enough for us to survive in the current climate. Although the towns are free to collect the contribution in their own manner, it is vital that each town makes a regular contribution. Provincial trade power plus 20%. Ooh. So my centres of trade are incredibly powerful. That is actually very reasonable for the Hansa. Cool. And we have this. The Grand Navy allows us to create one of the largest and most powerful fleets the world has ever seen. So our provincial trade is about to skyrocket. So from 56% to more. 57%. Wow, that was a big increase. But we do have 295 trade power. Ostjylland is another trade port here, which we'll be able to turn into a centre of trade when we have 200 ducats. And once it's all cored and converted. Oh, and Gotland, I need to turn you not into a trade city, to a trade port. Where's the trade port? Oh, and you're also a centre of trade. Excellent. There it is. Needs to be cored. Fair enough. And there we go. Everything is now coring. Putil Simbern and Rum Coffee Stories, thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Alright, so who else is a danger right now? Thuringia, Bremen. Because it is making me a little bit nervous that we are getting people coming in against us. Denmark can't. Sweden could. I'm going to send a relation increase to Sweden, because the more relation increase you have with a country, the faster aggressive expansion goes down. And Sweden's on 51. So if we can stop Sweden join the coalition, then we're basically safe. Unfortunately, Sweden's now going after Denmark. Dubious spending practices. Kuno Subeth's spending habits have raised some eyebrows. He's been spending large amounts of money, far larger than one in his position should have access to, distributing gifts to the local nobility in his home region and improving local infrastructure. An investigation has revealed the facts. Rather than serving the Syndic in the best of his abilities, Kuno Subeth has been funneling state funds into Verden in order to boost his popularity there. While this has been a boon to the local economy, such practices could prove damaging to the state if tolerated. Just good business. If he's making business better, then what is that? It's good business, and therefore acceptable. Eishbjørn Holger. Yeah, that 1% boost was a little bit anticlimactic there. There was a 20% boost in provincial trade. I expected a lot more. Especially because all of my trade in Lubeck right now is provincial. And it gets further modified by all the merchants we have. Printing industry. 1st of January 1550, it spawned exactly as soon as it could. The ability to mass-produce the written word would revolutionize the spread of information and in many ways early modern society as a whole. Pioneered by Renaissance men such as the Venetian printer Aldus Mauritius, the new art helped fuel the Renaissance by making translated classics more widely available. Later, the Reformation benefited greatly from the ability to spread critical publications and translations of the Holy Scriptures. Now that printing has matured as a technique and spread throughout Europe, hundreds of thousands of copies from everything from religious and political pamphlets to scientific treatises and instructions on how to behave are circulating the continent. With print shops growing ever more commonplace, rulers have found it hard to contain the new technique, as the comparatively easy means of production makes it easy for censorship to be sidestepped by moving business across a border or even just changing the name on the title page. Who got it, though? Geneva. Interesting. Now, it is going to be spreading relatively quickly through my territories, I suspect. Yeah, 0.6, 0.3.